Before you take another trade, ask yourself something. Are you trading your plan or your chemistry? Most traders think they lose because of poor strategy. But the truth is far more human. You don't lose to the market. You lose to dopamine. That tiny spark of anticipation before a trade, that rush of excitement when you see a candle move, that's not intuition. That's addiction. Dopamine makes you chase. Discipline makes you wait. And the gap between those two is where most traders fail. In this video, we're going to close that gap with a 5-step pre-trade ritual designed to rewire your brain from craving to control, from noise to neutrality, from dopamine to discipline. Welcome to Mind Over Markets, where we don't trade charts, we trade consciousness. Have you ever noticed how trading can feel? Exciting? Not the kind of excitement that comes from success, but something deeper, addictive, electric, unpredictable. You open your charts not because there's a setup, but because there's something to feel. A flicker of movement, a change in color, a new candle forming. And before you know it, your heart rate increases. You don't just see opportunity, you feel it. That feeling is dopamine, the silent puppeteer of your trading mind. Dopamine is not about happiness. It's about anticipation. It's the chemical of wanting, not having. It's what keeps you chasing, not resting. And every time you click buy or sell, your brain rewards you, not for success, but for action. That's the paradox of trading. Your brain doesn't care if the trade wins or loses. It just wants you to keep pressing the button. It's the same circuitry that drives gamblers, social media users, and addicts. The same chemistry that rewards the thrill of maybe this time. This is the dopamine trap, the invisible cage that keeps traders repeating the same mistakes, overtrading, chasing, doubling down, even when they know better. You think you're chasing profit, but you're chasing a feeling. You're chasing hope. And hope in trading is the most expensive emotion of all. Dopamine doesn't make you greedy. It makes you impatient. It makes silence feel like failure. It makes waiting feel like wasting time. And that's why the average trader loses, not because they don't know how to trade, but because they can't stand to wait. But the professionals, they understand something different. They know trading is not about stimulation, it's about stillness. They don't trade to feel alive. They trade when they're already calm. They don't seek dopamine, they seek discipline. Discipline is not the absence of emotion, it's the mastery of emotion. It's choosing structure over stimulation. It's replacing the need to feel something with the ability to see clearly. You can't fight dopamine with willpower. You fight it with ritual. You fight it with repetition. You fight it by teaching your mind a new pattern, a pre-trade ritual that rewires anticipation into awareness. This is that ritual. 5 simple steps that prepare your brain before the market seduces it. 5 steps that shift you from reactive to reflective, from chaotic to composed. Let's begin. Step 1, the breath reset. Before you even look at a chart stop, close your eyes. Breathe deeply in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4. Pause for 4. Do this 4 times. That's all. Why? Because you can't control your mind if your body is in panic mode. A calm breath resets your nervous system. It lowers cortisol. It slows your pulse. It tells your brain there is no threat here. In that moment, your focus widens. The tunnel vision of urgency dissolves. You begin to see again, not react. Every professional knows this control. The breath control, the state. Control the state, control the trade. Step 2, the environment check. Look around you. What's in your space? Is your phone buzzing? Is another chart flashing in the corner? Are you surrounded by noise? Turn it all off. The environment you trade in becomes the environment your mind lives in. A noisy room breeds noisy thoughts. Every beep, every alert, every message steals a fraction of your attention. And attention is the only currency that matters in trading. When your world is quiet, your mind becomes quiet. And when your mind becomes quiet, clarity begins. Discipline starts before the first click. Step 3, the intention statement. Now take a pen and write one line before you trade. My goal is to execute the plan, not to make money today. Say it again in your mind. Feel it sink in. That sentence rewires your objective. It shifts you from reward seeking to process following. It reminds you that consistency is built through execution, not excitement. When you declare your intention, you're training your subconscious. You're reminding yourself that you are here to trade your system, not your emotions. Every great trader has a mantra, a sentence that keeps them anchored when the chart starts whispering lies. Intention replaces impulse. Step 4, the plan review. Now it's time to test your discipline against your own rules. Ask yourself, is the setup confirmed? Is the risk within limits? Is there alignment across timeframes? Is there confluence? If any one of those answers is no, you do not trade, because discipline is not doing more. Discipline is saying no when everything in you wants to say yes. When you skip a setup because it doesn't align, you build a tiny muscle of mastery. Every no is a rep in the gym of discipline. And that's how professionals grow stronger while amateurs burn out. Your plan is your shield. Without it, every trade becomes a dopamine trade. It feels good in the moment, but it will destroy you over time. If it's not in your plan, it's not real. It's a chemical impulse disguised as strategy. Step 5, the visualization. Now close your eyes for 30 seconds. Visualize the trade you're about to take. See it winning and then see it losing. Accept both. Feel what it's like to lose and imagine yourself reacting with calm. No anger, no revenge, just data. This exercise teaches your brain that pain is safe. That loss is information, not identity. It removes the emotional charge before it happens. And when the real loss comes, your reaction is neutral. That neutrality is what keeps you alive in this game. Acceptance creates emotional immunity. And emotional immunity is the highest form of discipline. These 5 steps are your reset button. They take less than 5 minutes, but those 5 minutes will save you from hours of regret, because discipline isn't born in the trade, it's born in the preparation before the trade. This is how professionals think. They don't trust motivation, they trust ritual. They don't rely on feeling ready, they rely on acting prepared. Each time you follow this pre-trade ritual, you train your brain to shift from dopamine to discipline. You reduce impulsivity, you slow your nervous system, you expand awareness, and slowly the highs and lows of the market lose their control over you. You begin to see differently, you start to feel differently, you start to act differently. That's not magic, that's neuroplasticity. That's your brain rewiring itself through repetition. Because what you repeat, you become. If you repeat chaos, you become chaos. If you repeat calm, you become calm. If you repeat discipline, you become disciplined. This is how real consistency is built, not through strategies, but through state control. Now let's go deeper. You see, dopamine is not evil. It's ancient. It kept your ancestors alive. It drove them to hunt, to build, to pursue. But in trading, dopamine is misplaced survival. Your brain thinks uncertainty is danger, so it reacts. It pushes you to act quickly to fix the feeling, to eliminate discomfort. But the market rewards discomfort. It rewards patience. It rewards the ability to wait while everyone else rushes. That's why discipline feels boring, because boredom is the absence of dopamine, and boredom is the breeding ground of mastery. When you feel bored in trading, you are finally where you're supposed to be, because boredom means your brain is quiet, and a quiet mind sees clearly. Every time you resist the urge to click, you are rewiring yourself. Every time you pause instead of chase, you're teaching your brain a new pattern. You're telling it, I am no longer the gambler. I am the observer. I don't chase dopamine. I choose discipline. This is the moment your trading evolves, not when your equity curve grows, but when your emotional curve flattens, when you can lose and not flinch, when you can wait and not itch, when you can breathe and not crave. That is when you begin to trade with the mind of a professional. But remember, this transformation isn't instant. You are undoing years of neurological conditioning. Your brain has been trained to crave stimulation for decades. It won't surrender easily. There will be days when you slip, when you chase a move you know you shouldn't, when the old patterns whisper just one trade. And that's okay, because discipline is not perfection. It's return. It's the act of coming back again and again to what you know is right. You will fall, but every time you return faster, you get stronger. Every recovery is a victory. And slowly you stop being addicted to outcome. You start being devoted to process. That's when trading stops being emotional and starts becoming meditative. Trading psychology isn't just about controlling fear or greed. It's about mastering dopamine, the subtle force that decides how long you can stay patient, how clearly you can think, and how calmly you can act under pressure. When you master dopamine, you master anticipation. When you master anticipation, you master time. Because time is the weapon of discipline. The patient trader waits, the impulsive trader burns. The disciplined trader grows slowly but permanently. That's the paradox. Discipline feels slow, but it compounds faster than any strategy. You can build a profitable system in weeks, but it takes years to build the mind that can follow it. This is why most traders fail. They build systems for the market, but never systems for themselves. Your pre-trade ritual is that system. It's your inner strategy, your emotional risk management, your silent edge. Every breath, every pause, every review, it's risk management for your mind. You won't find this in textbooks. You won't find it in trading forums, because no one wants to talk about discipline when dopamine feels better. But discipline is the highest dopamine because it gives you something deeper control. Control over the only variable that matters, yourself. When you can master that, you no longer need to fight the market because you're no longer fighting your own chemistry. The market becomes neutral. It becomes feedback. It becomes your teacher, and you become consistent, not because you know everything, but because you know yourself. So before your next trade stop, close your eyes, breathe, check your space, set your intention, review your plan, visualize both outcomes, and only then act. That's not a checklist. That's a transformation, a ritual that moves you from chaos to clarity, because trading is not about being smarter. It's about being stiller. The mind that can sit through boredom can sit through volatility, and the mind that can sit through volatility can sit through success. So remember this: discipline over dopamine, patience over impulse, process over excitement. This is how you outlast the noise. This is how you grow. This is how you win quietly, consistently, consciously. You are not here to chase feeling. You are here to build freedom. And freedom comes from one thing only: a disciplined mind. Because when the mind is still, the trade is clear. And when the trade is clear, the market becomes simple. This is mind over markets. Trade consciously. Trade calmly. Trade with discipline. You've reached the end, but this isn't the end of the video. It's the beginning of your awareness. Now you know what truly moves you. Not the market, not the setup, but the silent chemical inside your own mind. The traders who win long term aren't the ones who predict the future, they're the ones who master the present. Your next trade doesn't start with a chart, it starts with a breath, a ritual, a moment of stillness before motion. So pause, reset, and remember every click that comes from calm will outlast 1,000 that come from craving. Discipline is not restriction, it's liberation. Because when your mind is free, your trading finally becomes effortless. This is mind over markets. Trade consciously, trade calmly, trade with discipline.